Hey, sixth graders, so you're going to now use this video to check your answers to see how you did on this review. So after your 10 minutes that you used to fill in, 10 minutes or so to fill in the answers on this grid that you have, we're going to go through the answers. So feel free to pause this video anytime you need to go through and make sure that you have the correct answers before you turn in your final answer sheet. So here we go. So the second box we're going to look at here is the one with the westward expansion, the angel that's moving across. So you have the idea of westward expansion. So if your answer said anything about westward expansion or settlers moving west or Native Americans being kicked off their land, that would be an appropriate answer. Next one is the image of the fort being built. So something that you could talk about here is the Bedote or the building of Fort Snelling. You could talk about the vantage point up for a good spot to build a fort for that painting. The fourth one, 2000. So what that represents is the original money that the Dakota got for the land to build the fort. This is the money that Zebulon Pike went back to get from the United States government to give to the Dakota to buy that land. This picture here, number 5, is a northern pike fish. So what that picture was to represent is Zebulon Pike himself, the United States military general that was sent up the Mississippi River to find a place to build a fort. This picture here, which is a land and says our land on it, what that picture is for is to represent the Dakota or Ojibwe, their perspective on land. You could talk about land being given to the newcomers. You could talk about land being taken away from the Dakota and Ojibwe. Depending on what perspective you chose, the idea here was something about that land that's changing hands. So this one here is a picture. It says a sign of private property, no trespassing. This is that idea of the American settlers or the European settlers, American settlers that have that idea on perspective of land. It belongs to me. It's private property. Nobody else can come on this land. It only belongs to the individual who bought it. Number 8, this portrait here of this person here is Alexander Ramsey. The importance of him was in this chapter is that he is the first territorial governor of the Minnesota Territory. Number 9 here, this picture here is 1849, and you also see that same portrait in a little smaller view here. This is to represent the year or the time that Minnesota became a territory. So if you remember, in order to become a state, you need to be a territory first. That is what this picture is supposed to represent. Number 10, you can imagine what this one is, of the pig's eye. I hope you remember that this is the original name for St. Paul is Pig's Eye Landing. So that pig is supposed to kind of represent that Pig's Eye Landing of the original name of St. Paul. Number 11 is the image of the treaty here. This is to represent that treaties are written agreements between the U.S. government and the Dakota. And then finally, we have the annuities. This is the what the U.S. government planned to give the Dakota over 50 years is money and food every year, annually, to the Dakota for the land that was in the treaties. All right, so that is it. I hope you enjoyed the picture review and kind of think about what am I going to do next now to help me prepare for our test, which is on Friday.